Today is the day. This is what we've been waiting for. We've gotten the body fat tested. We've gone grocery shopping. It's time to hit the gym. Now this is the fun stuff. But before we go into the gym, before we ever step foot in the gym, I want to talk to you a little bit about what to expect, about goals, about motivation, about just feeling passionate about what you're doing. All right, people, we're at the gym. I jumped in my training manual, thought I was training today, or I knew I was training arms, but kind of pumped myself up, watched a little workout, looked at some old pictures, and I'm excited to get back in here. It's weird coming back to the gym. You know, I'm expecting, to fail where, well, I'm not expecting to fail, but I'm expecting it to not be as strong as before. I'm expecting it to be a little bit harder because I haven't been in a while. So when you're coming to the gym for the first couple times, don't get discouraged. It's gonna get easier, especially if if you're tracking your progress, you're gonna see it. This is why I started lifting. From the time I was a little kid, watching Arnold movies. I met him in Sun Valley when I actually went ice skating there, and I was just this little 6-year-old with big eyes, and there was Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's Kindergarten Cop. It's not the Tuma. But you can see Idaho right now is freaking freezing. The last thing you want to do on a day like today is get out of your house. You want to stay at home, cuddle up in front of the fire with a book, maybe a little Philly next to you, or if you're a girl, maybe a little, I don't know what the equivalent of a Philly is for a girl, but it would be that. And from then on, I was hooked. From the minute I touched that weight, it was electric. And it might not be like that from all of you. I'm telling you what, the first step is always the hardest. You can just get out of your house, get into the gym. I guarantee you're gonna be much more productive for the rest of the day, just getting to the gym. That's what we're doing today. I haven't really been in a whole lot, been hitting it here and there, but I'm starting this with you guys. I'm not taking any supplements right now. We're gonna touch into that as we go, but right now I wanna talk about the mind. So we talk about muscles the next 12 weeks, but the most powerful tool, muscle you could call it, is your mind. If you go into the gym without a positive outlook, without being excited, without being motivated, it's all for naught, because you won't truly love it. You won't push yourself, and you're not going to end up keep on going back to the gym. That's why so many people stop. So you have to really make it fun for yourself. It's your job to get motivated. You're not going to always feel like going to the gym, but you are what you think about. Self-control is kind of like a muscle. It fatigues the more you use it. So you wake up during the day, we're always making choices throughout the day. What to wear, what to eat. And at the end of the night, self-control, it's like a muscle. It's weakened. So a lot of the times, if you plan on working out at night, it's easy to say, oh, I'm too tired. If that's you, and if you don't really love getting to the gym, do it first thing in the morning. I'm working out pretty much midday right now. I love it. I get a couple meals in me and then have the rest of the day also for the meals that I need. If you go to the gym on the regular, there's those times that you feel really excited about things. And I know that when I do that is when I'm studying outside of the gym. When I'm reading my fitness magazines, or I'm on bodybuilding.com, or I'm watching videos on YouTube, there's people out there for motivation, and that's what it's about. You go in and you think about what you want to look like. You create an image in your head, and nothing is going to stop you from getting there. But you can't just go into the gym saying, I want to look like Steve, or I want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, or I want to look like so-and-so. Girls, the same thing. You can't go in there. You have to have a plan of attack. And this is where writing out your plan, keeping a journal, is going to be really important. If you are tracking calories and everything like that, and you are working out at night, make sure you're still getting your carbohydrates post-workout. Even though it's late at night, it matters more that you're getting them than the whole myth about you shouldn't have carbs at night. But anyhow, one thing that I do right before I go in the gym, I usually pump up a song. I know a lot of you guys out there are Ziz fans, and there's that video where he's pumping up. I do that a lot. I won't do that this time. What I do, I get a piece of gum, and from then on, that's me flipping the switch. Like, when that gum goes in my mouth, it's time to work. I'm chewing, I'm not talking. And I guess it's game on from there on out. So let's get her done. Woo! This is a little bit different from what I'm used to working at a Gold's Gym in Venice. That was such a fun gym to work out. For the first month though, I probably got some of the worst workouts in of my life because I was just busy staring at people the entire time. It's a freak show in there. And then also you got celebrities. So we're in Idaho. Doubt we'll see any celebrities in here today. You never know. but working out at the Idaho Athletic Club. It's a great gym. You know, it's middle of the day. We're not gonna have a lot of people in there to fight with. The beauty of Idaho gyms is they're not as busy as the Mecca. I'm gonna have pretty much my free reign, but there's a lot of things to look for when choosing a gym. We're gonna talk a little bit more about that, but man, it is cold today. Make sure we get a good warm up. How's it going?
Good, man. What are you working on today?
Good arms today.
Nice.
Good to see you.
See you too, man.
And one thing in gyms you always want to look for, do they have everything that you need? This gym here has a pool in it, so when I do my swim sprints, I'm gonna be able to jump in the pool. It has a daycare. You know, if you're a busy mom, you might want to find a gym that has a daycare. It has free weights, it has machine weights, it's got the tanning. So these are all things that you like. Also, you're gonna want to find a gym that has enough equipment for whatever you're using. Also, you know, aerobics classes, cycling classes. These are all things that are important. If that piques your interest, make sure you ask people at that specific gym before you sign up. This gym pretty much has everything. All right, since it was so cold, I'm gonna do about 10 minutes. I always do 10 minutes of warming up. I usually like to warm up. It's something that targets that body part I'm doing that day. So if I'm doing legs, I'll warm up on the treadmill. Usually on a day like arms, I warm up the rowing machine. It gets the biceps, the triceps warm, as well as just your whole body. So we're gonna jump on the rowing machine here and get to work today. And I'm all about progressive training. Now, if you don't know what progressive training is let's say you did 200 pounds on bench press last week for 10 reps. Well, this week, really try to hit 11 reps. It's also cutting rest periods down, or it's adding weight or adding reps. So there's all sorts of ways to progressively train, but you have to get better. If you're not getting better in the gym, there's a problem. You need to take a step back and analyze what you're doing, your nutrition, your sleep. You know, if you're out partying, but you want to look good, those two things really don't go hand in hand. I usually put on my AC/DC Pandora mix or something like that, a little Stained or something, and I just tune everyone else out. You know, I love the quote that they tell about Arnold, that a bomb could go off in the gym and Arnold wouldn't even know it because his concentration was so focused on what he was doing. To me, I really think that you put this in, you shouldn't be looking at other people, you shouldn't be talking it up. It's time to go to work. You know, this is you time. This is the time to shut out the world. So when my headphones go in and that gum goes in, everything else gets tuned out. Currently my split, it's really basic, people. I'm not going into drop sets yet. I'm not going into you know, all these different techniques I will use in order to get on stage ready. My volume right now is gonna be pretty minimal because I'm just starting. So this is a perfect place for beginner, for women. This isn't a you know, a crazy bodybuilder workout that you might find, and those workouts really aren't needed until it's about that contest prep time and you're really trying to manipulate things. We're gonna talk about how you train, you know, weak body parts, how you train, you know, if you want more of a bicep peak, if your biceps long but not high, talk about the brachialis. We're gonna hit on all that kind of stuff today. So I'll warm up for about 10 minutes, just at a nice easy pace to get the blood flowing. And then I might do a little bit of active stretching. I don't do any static stretching beforehand. You know, been studies shown that static stretching doesn't do a whole lot. So active stretching, maybe some myofascial release with the foam rollers. I always do that after for about 5 minutes. We'll go into more all that science, but right now, just gonna get ready, get mentally prepared for my workout today. The more you can visually focus and see yourself going through the lift, see yourself lifting the heavy weight it's gonna be required, you know, the better your workout you're gonna get. So really, if you can, shut that world out. If you and your girlfriend are fighting, you know, it's not a problem in here. It's your time to forget about it. And your mind, you have to be able to make it work for you, not against you. If you can't get control over your mind and over your own thoughts, you will never ever be successful pretty much in anything in life. Whether it's athletics, relationships, you have to let that mind work for you, not against you. So today, you know, it's gonna be a hard workout. It's arms, so it's also a fun workout. But you know, on my leg days, you don't always feel like, you know, throwing 400 pounds on your back squat and doing it, but you do it anyways, and you do it to the best of your ability. And like I said, that'll translate into all areas of life. So I'm gonna go ahead and get warmed up here, get in the zone. But my split right now, Monday it's chest, chest and abs with a little bit of cardio. Tuesday's back and calves. Wednesday, I take the day off from the weights. I take the day off from weights, but I still do some resistance training in the form of HIIT, swimming, yoga, CrossFit. I'll do something active, basketball, snowshoeing. But all these things that I'll do on Wednesday, and then Thursday I'm right back into the gym doing arms, Fridays, shoulders, and then legs. And then each one of those days I'm doing a smaller body part. All right, that's 10 minutes of just a warm up. Like I said, since we're doing arms today, that rolling motion is warming up the biceps in there. You never want to go straight into a cold lift. It's a good way of tearing a muscle, especially on a day that it's this cold outside. But now that we got that warm up done, I'm gonna be jumping into, like I said, arms today. Today we're gonna concentrate on good form, really, the same concentrically and eccentrically, really to stress all of the different fibers in your biceps and triceps. Things that, you're gonna have to find what works for you. This is what I know works for me, but do it with me. Things are gonna be changing up here, muscle confusion in the coming weeks and months. But this is it. This is the first time, so I hope you guys are ready. Let's get after it. All right, first up, lying tricep extensions. We're gonna do this with dumbbells today, just so I can show you guys full range of motion. Like I said, I'm always switching up between machines, different exercises. Big old triceps we're gonna build today. Everything's 8 to 10 reps. So we're gonna be working on muscle strength as well as hypertrophy. Hypertrophy is just toning up the muscle, making it, it's the proper range for, I guess, building muscle. But women, please don't be scared of lifting weights. It's the diet and the testosterone in men's that make muscle big. One thing I do see in the gym around this time of year, around the new year, everyone, especially women, hitting up those cardio machines. Now that's great, but a little bit of resistance training is always needed. It does so much for your metabolism. Just the more muscle you have, the more muscle or the more calories you're gonna be burning just at a standstill. If you're 110 pounds at 20% body fat or 110 pounds at 15% body fat, that person who's 15% body fat is gonna be able to eat more. If they have more muscle, they can then eat more, and your body's it's more expensive for your body to have, so you need more calories. Stay with me, we're gonna get this going today. I'm excited, let's do work. Our rest times today are gonna be a minute, 60 seconds. I'm gonna be keeping on my watch here, keep that heart rate up to where we're burning fat in the process. Keep that heart rate probably right around 120. But if you guys want to go up and beyond that, if you girls are working out, still stick to that 8 to 10 reps. We are gonna build a little bit of muscle here. This is just a baseline. In the future weeks, we're gonna add in some volume, shorten down the rest time because I'm getting ready for competition and really stressing burning fat. All the way, always on your triceps, all the way down to your forehead, and at the top, with the dumbbell, I'm turning it out. And that final little extension is really gonna help you develop that medial head, or that outside head of your tricep there. With full range of motion, always, Weight is a tool we're using to sculpt the body. We do not care about weight. It's not a powerlifting contest. We're keeping 1 minute on the clock because we're here to build muscle. Burn fat, build muscle, shape your body, get in shape. Just make sure that you're not talking between sets. Make sure that you're here to get the job done. If you want a serious physique, you gotta take yourself serious in the gym. I'm gonna stick here for another set of these lying dumbbell tricep extensions. Next week, I might totally switch up the order of things. I might switch these in for a barbell lying extension, always just keeping the muscle guessing. Guys back in the day, stuck with the same workout, and even I would do this for a while too. If you're a beginner, stick with the same workout. That way you can track your progress in your journal. You can use your journal and see which weight you were doing last week and try to better it. If you're always switching up things, too much, then you don't really get that progressive training because you don't know how you're progressing, I guess. Country music going right now in Pandora, that's gotta change. I love my country music, just not in the gym. Switch it up. Today we'll go with a little, what do we go with today? Let's go with Last Resort Papa Roach Pandora. And this is the last warm-up set. It would help if I had 2 of the same weights. Which brings me actually to a good point. if you have like one arm, you know, you always gotta be, hopefully you took some progress for pictures today. If you have some weak areas, let's say your left arm, your left bicep is bigger than your right bicep, something like a dumbbell movement is really beneficial for that because you're controlling each muscle or each arm individually. So if you have lacking body parts, you know, make sure that you're giving those your needs, giving them the attention they deserve. You know, if you have no legs, you better be training legs beginning in the week when you're the most fresh. You better be doing a lot of, you know, you better have everything down to where you're focused on those body parts. If you need to do them maybe twice a week, we'll touch on that later on. All right, last warm-up set. All right, we got our warm-up sets, they're over with. Got that music blasting in your ear. I got 8 to 10 sets, or 8 to 10 reps on this. A rep, if you guys don't know, is one completion of a movement. A set is 8 to 10 or however many repetitions of that movement you've decided to do. That is one set. We're gonna do 4 working sets here, starting off with 50 pounds and building up to where it gets heavier. And as you can see on there, what's most important is the full range of motion. All the way down and then all the way up. And I don't lock out my arms at the top. I keep my arms a little bit above my head, never coming straight up. It's way too much tension on your elbow there. You want to have that, a little bit of that, I guess that angle that's going to be not quite 90 degrees to where it's going to keep the most tension on your triceps. And girls, like I said, please don't be afraid to lift some weight. We're sculpting your triceps here. So I want you guys to be working at it. You're not gonna be the next Ronnie Coleman, don't worry. I'll watch here, so I have a minute left. Weight's starting to get a little bit heavier. I only got 9 reps on that. And as you can notice on these, I let my head lean off the bench just a little bit so I can stretch the weight all the way down. Also, pretty much keep your elbows as close to the sides of your head as you can. You don't want them flaring out to the side too much. You have to start putting a little bit too much tension on the shoulders. Should be all on the triceps there. In a minute, I'm seeming a lot shorter today than normal. I don't know if it's because you guys are here, because I'm out of shape, but we're gonna go for another 5 pounds. As you can see right there, I just failed before my 8th rep. It's a little bit too heavy today. I can tell I'm a little bit weak. So we're gonna drop it down, checking the ego at the door when you come in. It's not about the weight, it's about your body. It's about getting the best workout in. So I'm gonna drop it back down for this last set. Also, if you have a spotter in the gym, you'll see me working out with a partner a lot, especially as contest approaches. Just a guy or a girl to help you push yourself a little bit harder in the gym. Also, being there for a spot. Because a lot of things I do, force negatives, drop sets, stripping. These are all things you need a partner for. Last set, best set. That's it for, we just did 4 sets, 8 to 10 reps. Although I get 6 on that one. Now we're moving on to the next exercise, giving ourselves a minute to 2 minutes in between this one. Decide right here and now, this is your kind of life you're gonna wanna live. It's not just, if you can go into the gym, if you can be a bodybuilder, or if you can go and be successful in the gym, you can be successful in anything in life. Because there's gonna be times you wanna quit in the gym, just like in life. And if you can learn how to push through those types of things and force yourself to keep going when it hurts, you'll realize just how strong you are. The mind always quits first, the body quits second.